The world can be cruel and dark, especially nowadays. When you turn on the news, all you see are negative stories, which can be quite depressing. That is why so many people use media to escape reality and enjoy stories that take place in alternate settings and or realities. When I am down in my feelings, I like to watch a good old-fashioned TV show and or movie and or read something like manga or a comic book. One thing I've noticed over the past few years in pop culture is the misunderstanding of Superman's character, especially on the silver screen in recent years. It leads to people having a warped understanding of what makes Superman tick, from his aspirations, motivations, and what he represents. Don't get me wrong, Zack Snyder is a great filmmaker who knows how to make cool looking shit. However, he fundamentally does not understand the character of Superman, and for that, the reputation of Superman has been tarnished, and that is not including the damage caused by the evil Superman-like characters such as Homelander and Omni-Man have done. Superman isn't meant to be viewed as a godlike being that is disconnected from humanity, where he struggles to understand it. Superman is meant to be a man who is more human than most. What I mean by that is, in an ideal world, a human being is one who empathizes with their peers, shows kindness and calmness in the face of adversity, is just all around what we as humans should strive to be. We should trust in others, uplift those down on their luck, and exemplify hope when everything goes against us. In a form of irony, Superman, an extraterrestrial alien from another planet, who can shoot lasers from his eyes, fly through the skies, blow cold air that freezes everything in its path, and lift pretty much everything, is often described as more human than most men. He's been described as such by Batman of all people. There's something ironic about that. A human who is in his peak condition, Batman in this case, describes an extraterrestrial illegal alien from another planet as being more human than other humans. And I think that's something beautiful. Superman is more than just a hero. He is a man named Clark Kent, born on the planet Krypton, sent to Earth to survive, raised by two loving individuals, Jonathan and Martha Kent, in the small town of Smallville, Kansas, in the Midwest of the United States. He was raised to be kind. He was raised to be the best of us, and he is that. The unfortunate thing about the portrayal of Superman in recent years on the silver screen is the lack of care for Clark Kent, the man behind Superman. It's something that I hope is focused on more in greater detail for this upcoming Superman film. As part of what makes Superman so earnest and loved by so many people is the characterization he receives as Clark Kent, which, while there was some of that characterization done in The Man of Steel, it just isn't enough, as most of the film focused on the super part of Superman, and not enough on the man part of Superman, the man behind the suit. The man that is Clark Kent. Something that television has done well is the balance between Superman and his identity of Clark Kent. The two examples that I will go with are the portrayals of Superman in the DC Animated Universe, or DCAU, created by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, as well as the recently concluded CW show Superman and Lois, which was produced by Greg Berlanti and Todd Helbing. In the DCAU, a wonderful thing that we, the audience, get to see is just how integral the identity of Clark Kent is to Superman. We, the audience, can see that the mannerisms he has as Clark Kent can still be seen when he dons the costume. Whereas when Batman dons his costume, that is, the playboy, philanthropist, billionaire Bruce Wayne, we can tell that there is a performance going on. We can tell where Bruce Wayne ends and where Batman begins. The same cannot be said when it comes to Clark Kent and Superman. Superman is a tender soul and a human being before all else. Superman saves people not because he has to, but because he has the power to do so and wants to. To give an idea of what Clark Kent is, we can look at the Justice League cartoon episode, Comfort and Joy. We see that Superman is the type of person who brings a friend to his home, in this case, the Martian Manhunter, during Christmas because, as he puts it, he prefers not to have anyone spend the holidays alone. He gets excited for Christmas morning and opening presents. His own parents have to wrap the gifts in lead to prevent him from peeking, and he firmly believes in Santa Claus. That's the type of person Clark Kent is, and that is who Superman is. In the episode of Justice League Unlimited, for the man who has everything, an adaptation of the storyline of the same name, written by Alan Moore, Batman and Wonder Woman arrive at the Fortress of Solitude to celebrate Superman's birthday. They quickly learn that Mongul is holding him hostage in the stronghold and that he is suffering from the effects of a parasitic plant called the Black Mercy, which has imprisoned him in a dream in which Krypton was never destroyed, and he lives a happy, peaceful existence. It is in this dream state reality that he is in, he gets the taste of living a married, happy life on Krypton, with a wife named Loana and a son named Van-El. At some point, Superman realizes this fever dream reality he is living in is not real. So he has to give a little heart-to-heart with his imaginary son, telling him he has to go, and that this is goodbye. Even when something is not real, or more specifically, when an individual is not real, Superman's first instinct is to comfort that person. This is who Superman is.
Van, when you were born, it was the happiest day of my life. When I first saw your beautiful little face, your tiny fingers squeezed my hand so tight, like you never wanted to let go. I've watched every step, every struggle. But Van, Rao, help me. But I don't think you're real. I don't think any of this is real.
Don't say that, Daddy. Please, you're scaring me.
No, I don't want to scare you, Van. You are everything I ever wanted in a son. This is everything I ever wanted in a life. But I've got responsibilities, Van. And I have to go now.
Daddy.
I promise you, I'll never forget. Yes!
Now, if we look at the portrayal of Superman from Superman and Lois, we can see just how much care is put into the portrayal of Superman. From the first 5 minutes of the pilot episode, we see how in this narrated montage of the origins of Superman, we can see just what makes Superman the man that he is. He isn't disconnected from the rest of humanity, instead he embraces it. We see that the show takes inspiration from the comics and seemingly puts 90 years of history into the show in a chronologically sound timeline of events. We see the infamous imagery of Superman's first appearance from Action Comics issue number 1, where he lifts that green car above his shoulders. We see Clark answering a question from a nearby spectator about his costume, and he graciously and enthusiastically says,
There you go, friend.
Thanks. Cool costume.
Thanks. My mom made it for me.
a straight-up callback to a panel in Superman for All Seasons. The creators of the show put a lot of thought and love into adapting these Superman stories onto the screen. They understand who Superman is and what he represents. They don't try to revolutionize the character, but they evolve him. Previous incarnations of Superman on screen never attempted to make him a father in a way that we see how he parents the child and how it can lead to conflict internally and or externally. Yet on Superman and Lois, they did just that. We see how Clark struggles with parenting and balancing with the life of being a superhero. We see him struggle with the fact that he had to keep his sons in the dark for so long, and we see how he cares for his family, for Smallville, and the world at large. Superman, at his core, is a mellow and chill guy who puts others first. Superman's burden and dilemma every day is that he wants to save everyone, but he knows he can't, so he leans toward choosing to do what is right, always. Superman is a clear case of nature versus nurture. He is a byproduct of his environment. He was fortunate enough to be found and raised by two kind farmers. He isn't a good person because of his race, genetics, or ancestry. If we were to rid Clark of his powers and all that is left is the essence of his being, all of his decisions would be the same, as Superman is Clark, and Clark embodies the very best of humanity. Take, for instance, Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman, a 12-issue comic book series that focuses on the last days of Superman as he accomplishes many heroic feats. In this case, his version of the 12 labors of Hercules, dubbed the 12 labors of Superman, and he attempts to make peace with the world before his death. In one of the more iconic moments of the storyline, Superman, while in the middle of completing his 12 labors, conquering death, creating an artificial heart for the sun, and leaving the formula to create a second Superman behind, Superman takes a moment to talk to a girl named Reagan out of ending her life. He did so as he believed it was the right thing to do at the time. And this girl, Reagan, whose therapist couldn't make it, needed someone. He encouraged her, comforting her in a moment of crisis so personal. He tells her how she is so much stronger than she thinks. This is who Superman is. He knows he can't save everyone, but he tries to do what he believes is right no matter what. One story that adapts Superman's nature of standing by his morals no matter what is thrown at him that many people gravitate towards is that of his portrayal in Superman vs. the Elite. It is an adaptation of the comic book story What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way. In Action Comics issue number 735 from March 2001, we see Superman is challenged by a group of super beings called the Elite. You can think of the Elite as an edgy group of super beings who aren't afraid to push boundaries. The Elite consists of Manchester Black, a British telepath and telekinetic of incredible power, Cold Cast, who can emit tremendous amounts of electrical energy, how original, Menagerie, a woman who is symbiotically bonded with many demonic-looking beasts, and Hat, a magician whose abilities are centered upon his fedora. The Elite actively challenge Superman's outlook when it comes to dealing with villains and those who bring harm to others. The movie, at its core, is the clash between morals, a clash of ideologies on how to deal with those who cause harm to society while being in a position of power. There is a final battle or confrontation between Superman and the Elite, which many people point to when stating that Superman is bound by his morals. Let me show you what exactly this final confrontation shows.
This isn't you! You don't do this!
I do now.
No! It doesn't have to be that way, Superman! You taught us that!
Oh, he taught you that he's no better than the rest of us! You all saw! Everyone on Earth saw what you did to us, and they know you know better! There's nothing special about you!
Yes, they did see. They saw the ugliness of violence as a solution, and it frightened them. It frightened me too when I decided to cross that line and do what you do. It's so easy. Anger. Vengeance. Luckily, I'm not you. And I never will be.
You killed my team! Look at this place!
Chester, I thought you were supposed to be the sharp one. Boys?
Hell of a performance.
To be fair, I had some help. Your sister to start. Her files were very thorough, especially regarding the idiosyncrasies of your brain. But I knew they wouldn't be enough. You're right about me. I would never put civilians in harm's way. I won't kill. But you would. So I made sure I had backup. As for your people, they're fine. Nursing headaches I don't even want to think about. But very much alive as they're stripped of their powers and prepped for transport to a Supermax prison. That's why I had to let you knock me around for so long. I didn't have a nifty teleporter.
Bunny, you rotten clot! Get me out!
But I do now. You'd be surprised how fast Bunny agreed to help me when one of the Superbots promised to return her to her home dimension.
You think that's it? It's not over, you punsy twit! If you think I'll just go to jail and rot, you're living in a dream world!
Good. Dreams save us. Dreams lift us up and transform us into something better. And on my soul, I swear that until my dream of a world where dignity, honor, and justice are the reality we all share, I'll never stop fighting. Ever.
Olsen, get the crowd reactions. Perry loves crowds. You ever scare me like that again, I'll kill you.
If I ever scare me like that again, it's a deal.
Can we go so I can kiss you now?
This clip showcases that even when push comes to shove, Superman will always believe in what he feels is right, and he will never cross that line. I hope that we get to see Superman be adapted on the silver screen, being as great of a human being as he is, to see him truly resonate with people as a force of good in a world where it can be bleak and scary. I hope that with James Gunn's new Superman film, we see Superman be that beacon of hope in a world filled with grey. Based on the trailers that have been released thus far, it seems we are headed in that direction, and I couldn't be more excited if it rings true. It would be nice to see a truly wonderful adaptation on the silver screen that could be as good, if not better, than what we have been treated to on the smaller screen, with adaptations like Superman vs. the Elite, the DCAU at large, and Superman and Lois. Growing up, I thought that having superpowers like Superman would be the best thing ever. But now as I grow older, I could only hope to be as kind, hopeful, and human as Superman, to be the best of humanity, just like Clark Kent. If you liked what you've seen here and you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. And if you want to discuss your feelings in regard to Superman, leave a comment down below. We can have a nice discussion about what Superman means to each and every one of us. Thank you.